Hey, what's up guys? Anton here, and I just got back, literally like late last night, from a business mastermind that I went to out in Boise, Idaho, of all places. And the reason I went to this one and the reason I kind of wanted to be part of this, even though it was a significant cost of investment, was really because I knew there was going to be high-level entrepreneurs there, right? People doing big things. And I wanted to be part of a group that you can kind of learn from people, I guess, in similar places or people that are kind of like leveled up above me that I want to then go after and try to achieve. So in my head, before I got to this event, I thought like the whole thing, all the presentations, everything that was going to be shared was going to kind of be like next level stuff almost, right? Like things that I would have never even thought of. And honestly, there were a few things like that, but the majority of it really was bringing people back to the basics and going back to the fundamentals of all the different businesses that people there, including myself, were a part of. That includes e-commerce, info products, software, literally like everything you could think of. There was someone that represented a different business type or a different industry. And again, it just, when people were presenting and asking for feedback, it almost always came back to the basics. And I definitely got a ton of value. I'm really happy I went. I'll be going again. But what I took away from that in my notebook, seriously, with like pages and pages of notes, is that the basics are the most important, really, no matter where you're at. It's easy to get lost in your head. It's easy to overdo things. And that's why I wanted to make this video, which really is just like our simple step-by-step process for building e-commerce stores. It's easy for people to get distracted, to pick up information from all different sources. So in this video, I'm gonna cover, again, the basics that we do every time we build a e-commerce store, a dropship store specifically. And if you're part of Dropship Lifestyle, hopefully this is ingrained in your head by now. If you're not part of our course yet, then this will give you a good, at least 101 level or 30,000 foot overview of the framework every time we build drop shipping stores, the one that we use in our own businesses. So with that being said, guys, let's get into this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. All right, step one is obviously niche selection, also known as product selection, meaning what product you're gonna sell in your store. Now, one thing I should point out for any of you who aren't part of Dropship Lifestyle is that we always build niche-specific stores. That means we choose one product type per store. We have one core product. It doesn't mean we actually sell one product, but we sell one product type per store. We do this for better conversion rates. But this is something that people always overthink, and honestly, when I do these like introductory 101 level webinars, they're pretty much always centered around niche selection because I know that is where people always get stuck, and it really is a mental thing. It's because they overthink it and they think, well, if I get this wrong, my whole store will fail. And while in a sense that is true, if you try to sell something super cheap and inexpensive like this water bottle, then it's going to be really hard for you to make money. But people also overthink things when it comes in terms of like competition, right? I give this example all the time because I'm sitting in the office when I do these videos typically. But if I had that computer desk or this computer chair, and you did the research for it, you would see, oh, there's so many people selling them. How could it ever work? Listen, that's not something you have to worry about at this point of your journey. At step one, you just have to find niches that meet the three pieces of criteria that we look for. First being price point, second being the actual like the saturation of the market, not of the market, but of the brands in that market. See if there's brand loyalty. See if there's only a few big players. I give really examples of that in Dropship Lifestyle in module 1 of the course. And then of course you also want to make sure you're targeting the right market, targeting people with disposable income because we're selling expensive products and we want it to kind of be a no-brainer for our customers, right? We don't want them to be customers that are either going to cause a lot of problems on the front end as they're placing orders or on the back end after the order is delivered. So those are the three pieces of criteria that we do look for with niches. Again, once you're there, you don't have to overthink it. You can move forward, but the main thing is moving forward and not getting stuck, not complicating it, not making it too difficult, but getting one niche that meets those criteria. I'm sure you're gonna think of a lot more than one, but get that, then you move on to step 2 of the process. And step 2 is market research, okay? This is, again, taught in Dropship Lifestyle in detail, but once you have that product type and you're like, okay, cool, this is it, I wanna sell this. In step 2, you're literally going on Google, you're looking through product listing ads, you're looking through regular organic search ads, you're looking at different blogs that are relevant to the niche that you chose, and you're trying to find other websites that sell these products already. Now, these are the companies that we call our future competitors, right? That's my name for them, the people that we're gonna be competing with once we launch. Now, we do this for a few reasons. Mainly, it's to make sure that this niche that we came up with in the first step, right, in step 1, we want to make sure it's dropship friendly. And what that means is that we want to find other websites that are actually dropshipping them, right? Not other websites that are selling them, but have them in their warehouse or in their retail location. No, we want to find websites that are dropshipping them. Now, as far as how you check all that, again, I told you this video is like a 101 level. If you want to see like screen shares of me doing research and going out there and actually finding this information for multiple niches, then you're going to have to go into the members area at Dropship Lifestyle. That's where that training is. But once you do that, right, you picked a niche, you did your market research, you found the sites that are dropshipping these products, you know you can move on to step 3. And step 3 of the process, guys, is creating your website. And a lot of times, I'll tell you, people are like, why am I going to create a website when I don't have any products to sell yet? I don't know like what I'm doing. Like, why am I going to build a website so fast? And the reason you're going to do that is because you can't get approved to sell for any of these brands that you had found in module 2 or in step 2 in your research until you have a website that you could show your future suppliers. Now, the reason that's true is because these companies don't want to just work with anyone who picks up the phone and calls them and says, you know, hey, this is Anton. I saw you sell desks. Can I dropship your products? They're gonna be like, well, who are you? Where are you calling from? You know, like, what? No. So these companies that you're gonna wanna sell for, they're gonna wanna make sure that you're legit. And the main way that they can check that is by you linking them to your website, having them go to it, having them click around, check it out, and being like, okay, cool, we can envision our products on your store, and we see that you actually have something, besides just saying, hey, I want to drop ship your products. So very important, guys. Step 3 of the process is building a gorgeous looking store that not only will people want to buy from, but at this point that your future suppliers will be happy to see and be proud to have their products displayed on. Okay, so that's step 3 of our process. Now, once we do that, once the site's up, it's looking great, we move on to step 4, and this is where you start getting approved with those suppliers, okay? And yes, this all has to happen sequentially. Don't do 4 before 3. 3 has to come before 4. When you start talking to suppliers, you're directing them back to your site. Now, again, I know I keep saying this, but this is a Dropship Weekly video. They're typically around 10 minutes long. If you want like the scripts that we use when we're talking to the suppliers, if you want the emails that we use when we send them emails, again, all in Dropship Lifestyle, all in the members area. But basically at this point, you're reaching out to all of those suppliers you found when you did your research in step 2. You're not using paid directories. You're not Googling how to find dropship suppliers. You're not doing any of that. You're simply reaching out to brands that you found in step 2 of this process. You're telling them who you are, where you're calling from, your website, and you're getting approved for accounts. You're uploading their products to your store. You're getting ready to start making sales. But before we start getting traffic and sales, we move on to step 5. And guys, step 5 is all about optimizing for conversions, okay? Once we have our site built, we have our products loaded up, there's a few things that we have to do to make sure when people find us that they're gonna buy from us, okay? This is called conversion rate optimization. It's something that is super, super important. And it's the difference between making maybe $2 per person that comes to your store and making 5. Okay, there's a lot of little tweaks that we make that increase this conversion rate basically, and that stuff is all step 5. We optimize our stores for conversions once we have those products loaded up. Now, when we move on from there, guys, it's time for traffic. At this point, we have our niche. We did our market research. We built our website. We got approved for suppliers. We uploaded their products. We optimized the website for conversions. Now it's time to bring on the traffic. This is also where people start overcomplicating things. We use different traffic sources. I've used dozens of them over the years. The only one that you have to focus on and master until you're doing, $50,000 a month in sales is Google product listing ads. This is by far the highest converting source of traffic. If you set it up and optimize it the right way, you're gonna get the lowest cost per lead or cost per sale, basically what you're paying to drive sales to your website. This is where there's so much money to be made. This is something a beginner can do and learn to master within a few months' time. This is where all your focus should be when you're first starting out, mastering Google product listing ads. Again, there's more sources of traffic, but the purpose of this kind of overview step-by-step video is to not overcomplicate things. So focus on that one until, again, you're doing at least 50K a month in sales. Then you can move on to expanding your horizon with traffic sources, bringing in new ones. And honestly, maybe a little bit before that, but that's when it's also a good time to move on to step 7 of this entire process. And for us, step 7 is automation. Now, I guess a few things I should say is I don't believe there's any such thing as a fully automated business where, you know, you're just getting money every day and you're like, oh, life's great. But you can automate these things to the point where, you know, maybe 10 to 30 minutes a day is how much time you have to invest into the business. And a lot of things that you can outsource, that's really the way we automate the majority of, I guess, tasks that humans are required for is through outsourcing phone support. Now, the beauty of high-ticket e-commerce, the way that we do it, is that we're not getting tons of sales every day. We don't want tons of sales. We want a few sales with, you know, making $300, $400, $500 in that profit on that sale. So you don't need someone like, you don't need, I should say you don't need someone. You don't need 10 people on the phone all day, but there's definitely a point in your business where you're going to want to have someone who during normal business hours is going to be picking up the phone, is going to be accepting orders over the phone, is going to be answering if anyone calls, maybe asking for a status of their order. But you know, the main thing is really to get those sales, right? Because as far as like order status updates, processing orders and all that stuff, that can actually be automated from pretty much day one. We do it all now through the Dropship Lifestyle Shopify app. It's available to students of Dropship Lifestyle. Before we use that, we had like a mishmash of, I don't even know, 5 or 10 different apps, but we had this one built to kind of automate as much as possible for us. So guys, that's pretty much the 7-step process. The best way I could describe it, like, and even within each step, like how to keep it simple. But again, guys, it starts with niche selection, then market research, then creating your website, then getting your suppliers, then optimizing for conversions, then getting traffic going. Again, focus on Google product listing ads, then focus on automating as much as you can. And then from there on out, you know, there's a million other things you could do to make your store better, but you shouldn't have to do any of them until all of that is functioning, until you did each thing step by step. Once that's all up, it's running, it's working, it's making you money, then is a great time to kind of dive into the rest of the world of e-commerce. And that's one thing, like, I'm not logged in now, but in the members area of Dropship Lifestyle, it used to just be those 7 steps that I just mentioned to you, like walking people through them one by one. And over the years, you know, we've added so much, like, oh, here's how we do paid social traffic. Here's an advanced course on AdWords. Here's how you could do search text ads. You know, here's something on like SEO, and like it just goes on and on and on. And we built it out more and more and more. And the reason I wanted to cover the 7 main steps is because that really is more than enough to launch and be successful. But especially, you know, if you haven't found success yet, or if you're just watching this and just starting, know that you don't have to do everything to see success, to get results. Do those 7 things, follow it step by step, and again, once you're profitable, once you're getting results, then it's time to move into everything else and just blow it up, right? But stick with those things, because just like I learned at this mastermind, even people at high levels, when they start mixing in too many things at once, nothing happens and they get stuck and the wheels spin. So focus on those things, make it happen, get results. Then, you know, start asking me the more advanced questions, start asking about, you know, what else we're doing on top of this, start going through all of our additional courses in Dropship Lifestyle, and that's when you can really scale things up. So listen guys, I hope everyone found that useful. That's kind of my step-by-step guide to dropshipping for as much as I can cover in 10 to 15 minutes. But hope you got value as always. If you did, please do give this video a like on YouTube, and definitely subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/dropshiplifestyle. There's a little red button in the corner of this video. That means you're gonna get all these weekly updates. Every time I make new content, you'll get notified, you'll get to watch it, you'll be able to keep learning as I keep sharing every week right here on Dropship Weekly. So thank you everybody, and I'll see you next Thursday.